plate put on there and welded across all the pieces. I'm good with that. I am not the guy who's going to be doing the welding. Well, it's a day to take the steer to the processor. So last video I did a whole setup of this enclosure to turn our corral into a chute into the livestock trailer. And so I got some help today from my bride, and we are going to endeavor to get all of these guys moved from the area where I opened the poly tape, get 3 of them to go out through that gate and into the new pasture, get 1 of them into the livestock trailer. And not sure how that's going to go, but we're going to get set up and we're going to give it a shot. So good. Okay, that went a bit better than we thought it would. It only took about 3 minutes. But one thing I need to do is probably close the separator to keep him squeezed up front so he doesn't hurt himself by walking around too much. A couple of roos taking care of business here at the processor. And we got him dropped off. And And that's it. All right, so that was good. They set some time aside. They dedicated a guy to me to help me work through the cut sheet, and because I'd never done that before, and so we went through it all, and they'll send me an invoice when it's done. All right, I guess I'll drive back to the farm. So everything went as well as could be expected. Good road trip up and back, no issues. Really loading the steer and offloading the steer at the processor. Got back, now just back on farm doing things, and got rid of a steer, but now my mule is giving me problems. It looks like, it doesn't look like, it has broken part of the axle, I guess. See, this is the driver's side front wheel, and you can see it's got support coming here, welded to the frame, support coming here, welded to the frame. Bolted, welded. Passenger side front, rear, front. Uh-oh, not touching at all. But the back is still bolted and welded, but this is not. So all of the weight is being carried by that rear part of the V. It looks to me like it needs to be welded back into place or have another plate put on there and welded across all the pieces. I'm good with that. I am not the guy who's going to be doing that welding. I am not confident with that. So got to talk to my buddy who's actually a welder and see if he has recommendations on where I should go or what I should do about that. Yeah, mule is down. I didn't know if that bust had just happened or if it's been like that before and we've been driving it like that. And that may be the case, but I drove it just a little further. And the reason I stopped is because I could feel it. Felt like it was floating on that side. That's not good. So there's a guy I've taken it to, not that far from here, maybe a 10-minute drive. And I've taken the mule to him in the past, and he's a good dude. I sent him a picture of it and talked with him on the phone, and he thinks he can weld that back on there. It'll take a little bit of work, but I trust him, so we'll get it over to him, and I think at the end of the week, he's got some opening space for it, and we'll get that fixed. Meanwhile, I'm going to keep tearing down the pen where the steers were. Got to take down this fencing and all these posts. And then, I don't know what else. And then something else will come up. This gal was just wedged under the gate. Wedged in tight too. There. She kind of head out now. See you later. No, take your time. She was wedged in there good too. She was quite committed to come inside the fence to lay eggs. All right, got her released and turn around. She's heading out. All right, so one thing I'm trying to do a little bit of as I go is clear trees. And I got a couple I need to cut down here, so boink, these right here. Trying to make my arm go the right way. So there's 3 of them right there. I'm going to clear those out because from here, when you look, you start to get a sense of how this area was planted originally with trees to give like a tunnel effect all the way down to the far end. So big tree over, where is it? There is the next row of trees. These guys are lined up here as the edge of one of the parcels on the property and kind of along the farm road here. So I'm trying to open up the middle of each of these different rows and to help pasture grow up inside there. The chickens are doing their part today. So I got to start going on the tree. Got a wedge cut out here. It's pretty big. Cleaned up some of the stuff on the side, and I'm going to cut in the back and send it that way. At least that's the plan. All right, that'll do. Just while I was cutting, call came in from the missus, and she, there were a couple of dogs out in the yard, Rottweiler and a Yorkie. Interesting couple. They've been sniffing around. I actually saw them the other day. I didn't know whose dogs they were. They were on our road, but I just assumed, you know, somebody visiting or whatever, but they might be lost. So we'll keep an eye on them, but we closed the gate. She shooed them off the property. We closed the gate, so it'll probably keep them out. And then if we need to, I'll check with the neighbors anyway and see if they're missing some dogs or if they've seen them as well. And if we need to, we'll call animal control. They'll come find them, check the tags on them, and find out who they belong to and get them home. So there we go. There's one. There's two. 3 did not go super well. I got my saw caught right in here, so I ended up using the smaller saw to cut that so it would come down, and then it barber chaired on me there, or what do they call that? Anyway, and it broke off high and tripped down, but my saw was stuck right here. So I cut off a piece on the end here in order to get the whole thing loose so it wouldn't crush my saw when it fell. All good, saw's okay. You know what I left out? Mule's back. Yes. Yes. Got it, got welded here. And that's a good thing. It's, got down inside, put a chain or a strap through and pulled from the other side, squeezed the whole axle back until it was back to its contact point, and then he was able just to weld the whole thing. He got to it pretty quick too, so I really appreciate that. And it was, just really a half-day job for him. So it's good to have it back because kind of count on it. Well, they do love some kitchen scraps. We keep that container in the fridge labeled chicken treats. That's we just put everything in there and then they get it. So nothing gets thrown away. A couple girls in there getting a little bit broody, so it takes a little bit to kind of clear them out of the nest box and get the eggs out of there. It could go faster. I'm very gentle about it. We have a conversation about the whole thing. I'm weird. So that's it. We'll get the tractor grapple put on, and I'll take care of those trees back there and get them moved over to the big burn pile. And I think that pile is going to stretch just far enough that if I cut down the tree next to it so that it falls onto the pile, that'll be the perfect location for that tree. So we'll work on that another time. And then last thing is, I haven't heard back from the processors yet, the meat processors for the steer I brought up. They said they would contact me. They'd let me know it's ready by sending me an invoice. And I haven't seen that yet. So it was going to take, the meat was going to hang for 7 days before they actually did all the cutting up of the different cuts and the grinding of the hamburger and stuff. So I don't expect to hear from them for at least another 4 or 5 days. All right, I think that's going to do it from here. We'll talk to you guys later.